Yeah, but to go back to what Scott said, yeah, I think the healing is overtuned. I think that's not going to last very long. I think if it is overtuned, it's going to take 2 weeks for them to nerf him. So basically, learn him as quickly as possible, and then get him to level 5 and play ranked with him if you can.
And don't spend the 15K to get him because you won't be able to play him.
That's the opposite of what I just said.
What? No, I
That's literally the opposite of what I
it
just
is. It's true. I do the same with Phoenix.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Tsh, da, 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 da. Di, da, di, di, da, di, di, da, 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 da. Di, da, di, li, da, di, li, di, da. Di, da, di, li, di, da, di, li, 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 da, di, da, di, da, di, di, da.
Shit. Yeah. Uh, that was a good intro, I gotta say.
It's gotta be a
Yeah.
soundbite.
it has to be.
Oh, it's from
Anyway.
SpongeBob.
Oh, what? So what? From where?
It's from SpongeBob.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it says can't hear anyone but Bacon.
Oh
don't
no,
know.
no, it's fixed now.
All right, I don't know what that is.
All right.
Do you guys see like a little heart next to Bacon's thing, or is that just me? On Skype.
A little heart.
I don't see anything.
Huh.
Anything?
I see nothing. I don't know what you've got.
All right. Well, hello everybody.
Special
I-
relationship you have with them.
Apparently,
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about.
I'll take a screenshot. Wait, never mind. I have to do this show because we're live. Hello, this is your host, Fringe Average. Where am I? Welcome to the Gankbush podcast. For those of you listening for the first time, we are the only explicit Heroes of the Storm podcast where all the different co-hosts are made up of different play levels. For example, we have someone as low as a silver type player all the way up to a master level player. We bring you the latest hot news and latest tips and strategies so that you can become a better player. So let's go ahead and introduce our gold type player. That is Old Backpack, who's calling in from Abu Dhabi.
Ouch.
When did I become gold? Like, when did this happen?
Did you do your Hero League yet?
No, have you?
Well, then you're gold type.
Have you done it yet?
That's rank decay in action right there.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
the Gankbush rank decay, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you don't play Bush League or Hero League, then you get rank
If
decay.
if you don't take care of your bush, then it starts looking frizzly and unkempt and smelly. Yeah, you gotta
Turns
groom it.
golden.
you gotta groom your platinum bush.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and introduce our master level player. That is Scott, who's calling in from San Francisco, California.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Still on top.
On top of what?
Rankings in the podcast.
Oh, you're the higher MMR.
Yeah.
Oh.
How many points
that's
you got?
Maybe 15 more than you.
Same last week.
All right, let's go ahead and introduce our silver type player. That is Tyler Baron, fresh off his carry in Bush League. But how's it going?
I know it was tough work. It's good to be here in the Nexus. Team could have done it without me. Pulled together my expert plays, pro plays, carried us to victory on Monday.
I'm sure that's what happened. You carried. All right.
Well, I don't like to be modest. I like to be modest. So, but yeah,
Mhm.
if you're gonna force
All
me into that position to say that, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and introduce our other master player. That is Bacon, who's calling in from Buford, Georgia.
Hey, it's good to be here. I made a tweet earlier today and it caught traction and this is the first time, but Heroes of the Storm main Twitter retweeted the tweet. Yay.
Yay.
Mm. And for the record, Heroes of the Storm wants nothing to do with us as a show. FYI.
But bacon's
Starting
cool.
today, that's not
Yeah.
true anymore.
So what was the tweet then?
There's this Twitter account called Alaric of the Storm, and he makes little fun like meme Carbot style images, and he's been, become like a community figurehead for comedy content. And I did a little tribute. I modified one of his comics into a video, and yeah, people have been digging it.
Cool.
I have it loaded up.
Oh, you just see
You're
it?
gonna show us a tweet? That's how low it's gone.
Well, it's a video.
It's a video.
It's
Oh,
a
okay.
video. It's
Okay.
not text.
Yeah.
Standards aren't that low yet.
Stay a while and listen.
It's a meme video.
Oh, there's the draft.
Hey, we're playing a game.
I don't get it.
Hey,
Oh, hey.
you gotta see
Hey.
the original. You gotta see the original comic to understand.
Okay. All right. So, yes, old backpack.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So let's get the plugs out of the way. So we stream every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also, if you listen to us on iTunes or Stitcher, please subscribe and/or rate and review us. If you have any friends who play the game and listen to podcasts, please spread the word about the podcast. Also, if you would like to play with us or chat with us or send memes to us, please go to our Discord channel. Also, if you want to play with us, please go to our WinTime channel, one word, WinTime, in BNet. If you have any emails for the show, please email us at podcast@gamepushsquad.com. Also, if you go to our Patreon page, you can support us financially. All the money goes back into the either to help pay the costs for the show, as well as us going back into the community. So the money goes towards stuff like Calm Before the Storm, getting swag for BlizzCon, or help supporting our casters who do cast the Bush League games for us. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can find the Bush League recaps or the replays of the Bush League, as well as the live show, as well as other little snippets of content. Also, if you go to gamepushsquad.com, you can find links to all of the aforementioned content hubs that I just listed off. All right, so let's get some announcements out of the way. So again, another reminder, we're going to do a BlizzCon ticket party on May 9th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to try to get BlizzCon tickets, we'll all be together as one little dysfunctional family and try to get tickets for everyone who wants them. So Goonhots, a cousin of the show, is going to do another recap, I believe, this Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The recap will be of one Bush League game, and he does a really good job there, and he puts the video on his YouTube channel. So also, if you missed the sound of my voice, or if you want to hear more of my voice, go to the Trolls podcast, because last Thursday, in the last show, I was a co-host on that show, or guest on that show. And if you listen to that, you'll notice that me and Mystic have no chemistry whatsoever.
Nice.
But yeah.
Also, what
Well,
was up with the random shade thrown my way throughout the episode?
What random shade?
You're having a random discussion. It's like, oh, it's bad, just like Bacon from the Gameplay Scope. I'm like, what are you?
What about bacon?
You just randomly like talk shit about me throughout the entire episode.
What did I say?
Yeah.
I don't remember saying anything.
What are you talking about? You
Do the example
like 4 or 5
again,
times.
Bacon.
What did I
didn't
say?
hear
I don't remember saying
I mean,
anything. Actually,
I listened to it a week ago.
I think I
but-
made one comment about your DPS.
No,
Wait,
no.
you commented his DPS? You of all people?
Irony.
4-0. 4-0. Undefeated. Team
There it
Dignitas.
is.
Bush League style. All right. So if you listen to that, you can go to the Trolls podcast and listen to that. Also, the Calm Before the Storm is happening. So for those of you who don't know, basically it's a little meetup for all of the content creators and fans of those types of shows the day before BlizzCon, and it's at one of the hotels next to BlizzCon. So if you want to support that, please go to Calm Before the Storm, and they have a Twitter page and they have like a Kickstarter and everything. We subscribed to that. So again, Bush League is every Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think it's going to be Stixa. I think. I don't know if his computer problems have been fixed or not, but it should be Stixa. If not, go to the Discord and we'll link out who's going to be doing it. Also, last bit of news is that Bacon has joined Zexrus's team, and he's now the probably like the co-captain of that team now. So welcome to the Bush League, Bacon.
Wait, who left? Was it Rosai?
Rosai had to leave due to work stuff, I guess.
Okay.
It's time for the second coming of FTBRG.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. We already have some things prepared and other things we're working on and practice times, and it should be good.
Can
I'm
you scrim
excited.
with us? Can you scrim with us on Sunday or no?
Do
you know yet?
I will let you know tomorrow.
All right, because we need to. It's either that or are we scrimming NGS teams? So it's gonna be one of the two. So you gotta let me know. All right.
Yeah.
So are you excited?
Yeah. Does the team have any type of structure to it? Because I think I asked them. They just play that game that week. They don't practice or anything. Is that something you're gonna reform or something? Bacon.
I'm gonna try to shape it into my image. So
Nice crispy.
yeah, I mean,
bacon.
give it. They have a lot of, from what I've gathered, they've had a lot of good ideas, but just not able to focus it. You know what I mean?
So you're gonna give them
Into-
some direction.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you going to cut off all the people you said you were gonna help coach now? Coach only your
No.
team only?
No.
No.
I'll coach him. I'll give him some
Are you
bad
gonna give them
advice,
bad
but-
advice to help
Yeah.
you?
You
I
see,
can
you
Bacon
see,
doing that.
you see this 10 HP, Hanzo named Bacon. You shouldn't have dashed in and killed him. No, that's probably a bad idea. Let him walk
Wait.
away.
Don't you think you should actually be on the team with the goose egg? Team 4.
Yeah.
They didn't have an
Yeah,
open
it's-
spot, so
Maybe
0-4.
maybe
Yeah,
they
Team
just-
4 is 0-4. It's perfect.
I don't know.
They don't
There's
have an
no
open
rules
spot,
about
though.
like mid-season trades or anything.
Yeah. Put out a balance patch.
Yeah, we
Mid-season balance patch.
I mean, they never approached me with anything. The FTBRG guys did, and I just happened to be there, and that was a nice timing by them, I guess.
Hey Scott, you don't participate, but do you wish that you were participating?
I'm thinking maybe the next season you guys have.
Oh.
Right?
Scott's team's gonna be very
Pretty fun.
dysfunctional.
Huh?
You're all fucking slow.
Can't you read my mind?
His his team's gonna get called TT, Team Tilt.
That only happens when we're losing.
Sco TT.
Wait, so half the time, right?
No,
like that.
no,
Scroty.
we're gonna be team MVP Black.
Ooh.
MVP Black beats Dignitas.
But they can't beat Ballistics though, or Tempest in the regular season.
It's okay.
Yeah.
They're not in the league. I don't gotta worry about them.
All right, but so welcome Bacon to the Bush League. I'm curious to see what happens in that particular team, to see how Zexrus takes no longer being the leader of the team, because eventually I think Bacon will usurp leadership of that team in a couple weeks.
Gonna impose his will.
Yeah, he's gonna be like Nero.
So many suggestions and strategies.
Yeah.
You guys know me so well.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like Zetrus, check that bush.
Well, I
What if-
mean,
what if-
I asked the guys like, is it okay if I take more of a leadership position and do these things? And then they're like, yeah, we're cool with it. So we
Ah.
went ahead with it.
Well, it'd be nice to actually get a true test in Bush League. So I'm looking forward to our game on Monday because we play against your team on Monday. So I've already have my idea of what I'm going to do against your team. But it should be pretty interesting to get a real test for once.
Well,
right,
I
so-
mean, you guys had 4 weeks of play, and then we're gonna have 4 days of play leading up to this match. So there's
Oh, so
that.
you already
That's-
have an excuse built in.
Oh, I have a great excuse.
nice.
Yeah, I have the doctor's notice. Yeah,
Ah.
best excuse. I'm legally bound to this excuse.
All right, but actually, in all honesty, I think the league is going to be much better with you in it, because now we'll have 3 hosts that can participate and talk about it, and you'll get to see what it's like to play in a, like in a HEC, much lower HEC level type of format.
In a casual league, you mean?
Well, it's what's funny is that
HGP poopy.
you know what's funny is that there are certain players that are taking this as very casual, and it's very obvious from their play in week 1 to week 4. Their play is exactly the same, but for the players that are taking it seriously, they're actually getting better. I don't know if you guys see that, but I see that, and that's the coolest part of the whole thing.
Yeah, like Team Tower Bear and you guys shown moments of greatness, and San particularly has improved a lot, and it's fun to see.
Yeah. So if you, even like True Foods improved.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's other people too that have improved, and there's some people that are basically where they're at, where they started, and they're not doing so well. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. So we actually have a good show for you. We're going to talk about Deckard Cain for the 5th week in a row, it feels like. And then we're going to talk about the changes to Warhead Junction, and then we're going to talk about why is Diablo in the meta. It's been in our queue for like a month now. Now we actually have time to talk about it. And then Tower Brand wants to talk about solo laning at the silver level. And then we're going to do
laning in general.
Okay, and then we're going to do the recap or the draft analysis recap of the Bush League, and then we're going to have a win time moment, whatever that is, and then we have an iTunes review, and then that's it. Okay, so Deckard Cain is in the Nexus. He has a really low win rate. Now, obviously, it's only been 36 hours, so not really not much weight to put on that. But what do you guys think about Deckard Cain? So let's go to Scott.
His healing output doesn't seem as insane as I thought it'd be. I guess that's the number one thing that we were kind of concerned about. And I mean, yeah, he seems okay, but I think it's definitely a learning curve, not just for the people that are playing him, but for the people that are playing with him to understand how he heals, and it's going to create strategies of where am I going to throw these healing potions to, somebody gets injured to go heal here, and just to help set up his crowd control too. Particularly his root, it's fairly easy to avoid if you don't have somebody to help you get somebody ensnared or slowed beforehand. So it's my initial take on him.
All right,
the cast range. Sorry.
Go for it. I'll back.
The cast range on the route is massive. Like he can control a huge
Both
amount of space
W
really
and
far
E.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way too far, don't you think? Like he has Malfurion has to be somewhat close to cast the route, not Deckard. He can cast it like behind walls and shit.
But then it's also, if you're smart about your positioning, you can really dodge it. Unless they take Sapphire at level 1, which is the really strong slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it takes 2.25 seconds for his root to go off. That's plenty of time to move out of it, even though you can cast it from afar, and it's a pretty big radius. So
if you move away from Cain, directly away at a 45-degree angle, that's like the best route to, because his triangle, the skinny side of the triangle is pointed away from Deckard, Am I explaining this correctly?
Yeah.
So-
So yeah, the tip of the triangle is pointed where he faces.
English. But
Yeah, it's just
I,
a tip, right?
I played Deckard yesterday till level 8. I'm really liking him. Goon and I have been spamming the hell out of him. A lot of people, are a little bit underwhelmed, but I think it's playstyle wise, it's very unique. It's like a mix
Also-
of Anna and Lily. What?
Oh no! Also, like the other players have to get used to the fact that like if you throw out like because like if you press Q on a player and they move, then the flask will go when the initial click happened, right? So you have to your teammates either have to compensate for that or you have to compensate for their movement as well.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when I initially tried him out in try mode, was that in these lower levels, you're going to throw out potions and other people are going to take it. Some guys loses 1 HP and there's a guy next to him that's half life. The 1 HP guy is going to take it, stuff like that. So I think he's going to be not as good silver level. I haven't really seen him, even though he hasn't been banned. So that's usually a sign that's a little bit underwhelming. Although I will backtrack on what I said earlier about not buying him. I'm going to buy him because he's not insta
Why?
ban. Because I can
Why
actually
buy
play
him?
him. I can actually play him. Unlike Phoenix, where I freaking bought and then couldn't play for 3 weeks. So
Well, you can play him
actually,
now, right?
I can play him now.
Well, I think
But it's
it
hard
means
to do that
people-
now in the middle of Bush League, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose that everyone bans Phoenix still. That's why you can't play Phoenix. You can buy him, but you never actually get an opportunity to play him. But with Deckard, no one cares.
Phoenix isn't that good right now, though. I mean, he's
I know.
decent, but I think the bans against him are unjustified because I don't think he's that impactful.
Yeah, I don't. Well, the Phoenix is a carryover from the previous meta, right? And nothing has like popped out of this patch that really screams, "Oh, ban me!" Right? Besides Phoenix, who's the carryover? Like, who's this patch's Phoenix right now? It's really hard to say. Maiev,
It's just
maybe?
whoever you don't want to play against. Yeah, probably.
that was good.
I'd ban Maiev because that she can be difficult to play against.
But she's also often first banned too. Right?
Yeah, and she deserves it. Like her setup potential is too good.
Yeah, outside of that, I'd just go to map specific
Yeah.
or ban one of the healers, either Malfurion or Stukov.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the default.
But
Or Lucio.
I'm loving Deckard Cain, man. He's my shit. He really meshes well with me for some reason, and it doesn't seem like the rest of the community has really caught on to him. But if that means I get to play him more, then I'm fine with that. He has a lot of we were talking about last week. His utility and his healing are off the charts, and that is pretty much confirmed, in my opinion. The biggest thing holding him back in terms of win rate, I think it's just the potion mechanic. People not seeing potions on the ground, not used to the visual. Like it's sometimes it really blends into a team fight. Like it's really hard to see potions in the middle of all the spell effects going up. So I think if they up the brightness of like the potion or put like a little flash
Sparkle.
on it, sparkle, maybe that'll help with that. But his 1, 4, and 7, it's pretty diverse depending on what you want. His 13 and 16 are pretty much on lock in my opinion. You got to go both trade and trade for 13, 16. But level 20, if you like gem build, then you can go gem at level 20. But I personally like going flask, infinite flask at level 20. Because when it refills, it also, when you pick it up again, it still gains the benefits from the previous talents that you picked for potions. So if you picked level 4, the one that gives you a shield, at level 20, you put it down and it refills. You still get a shield from the next potion pickup. So it's a lot of value. And with level 6, what's up?
Didn't you say that the Infinite Flask is OP in Discord?
In my opinion, yeah. It's kind of like
Okay.
level 20 Lucio when he first launched. The ability to switch the songs to double
Oh, yeah,
dip on
traps,
healing
yeah.
twice. Yeah, it's kind of like that. But
So
Yeah.
Goonhots says is that Deckard Cain is getting banned in every game in Masters now.
I mean, I believe it, I guess. But that could also be in response to he's a new hero, no one wants to play with him. Or there's also this new hero sucks ass, right? Based on the Hot Slogs reaction, and then they ban him so people don't pick him.
Oh, is that really? Do people do that?
Yep. Oh, I do that all the time. My teammate is highlighting Deckard. I know in my opinion, that Deckard sucks ass, so I'm gonna ban Deckard. And then when they call me out on it, I'm gonna say, "Oh, sorry, I don't want the other team to have it." That shit happens all the time.
But at the lower levels, if you do that to a player, if someone's hovering over Probius and you ban Probius, they just
Masters.
flame.
Masters will deal with it. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, Masters players care more about winning than being petty.
Yeah.
Unlike Fringe.
Well, it just
I
sets
don't-
the environment
I
to be
mean,
hostile,
they-
I think.
Once
Doesn't it?
you get past a certain point, like once you're past like Diamond 3 plus, right? You're investing time into the game to actually improve and rank up, and certain realities you have to accept of the draft might not go my way sometimes, deal with it and shit like that. So
All right, so thank you, San, for subscribing via Twitch Prime. That's well appreciated.
oh,
So I have a quick question. Yes, Bacon.
and on top of that, he's bugged at the moment, so
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that. So it looks as though that his level 4 talent, which one is it? Is it
The rejuvenation one.
yeah, the
Yeah.
rejuvenation potion is giving 10 points to almost every resource. So it gives 10 energy to Zarya, 10 brew to Chen, 10 rounds to Tracer, and so forth. So it seems as though that it's bugged. So maybe you could do a cheese comp with Zarya and Chen and just give them infinite brew.
I don't think that bug. The only one where I think that's really strong against is Tracer, because she won't have to reload. All the other ones, I don't think that's gonna be that strong, even though it's considered a bug.
well, Chen's is kind of big because
It's
he
Chen.
I mean, Chen's not awful right now, and he's also his main mode of gathering energy is to just stand still, and it's easy for Deckard Cain to hit those shots. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but all right. So another thing is that I have a quick question. So if someone goes, if you're on the friendly team with Deckard Cain and they go the stay in wild and listen, and you get 4 members of the enemy team in the massive ultimate, what are you supposed to do if you're the friendly team? Do you just attack the squishy that's being like what do you
Do
do
not AOE.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
that.
don't wake all of them up. That's
unless
step
you got
one.
a KT combo or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, just focus the squishy, and then if you want, like follow up some other better CC, like throw in an APOC or throw in some sort of other setup ability.
Ideally, you're on voice comms and you could immediately tell the team we're gonna focus this target. That way, the reaction's fast enough.
So you're saying if people are caught in Deckard's ultimate, don't use Johanna's W.
Yes.
No, but use the blind, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
So the question though,
but yeah,
Go ahead, all
Yeah.
backpack.
which ultimate? Lornado or Stay a While?
Lornado.
Lornado?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I think stay a
Better than
while.
CC?
I still don't get it. I still don't get the
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, you gotta
Are
Explain
you
this.
I
fucking
gotta see
kidding
it.
me? Lornado is fucking
Feel-
overpowered, man.
You can knock people back into your team to set up kills for your team. Its range is pretty big, so you don't gotta really put yourself at that much of a risk to do that kind of play either.
And then you know what
there's
happens?
a ton of utility with it.
Let's say there's an Illidan on the enemy team and you get hunted. What you do is you turn your ass towards the direction of your nearest gate. You press Alt R, and suddenly you have a tornado on your ass, and Illidan can't get near you because of the tornado. Things like that. It's not really possible with Stay a While. Like in ultra coordinated comps, I can see Stay a While getting value, but until the the meta catches up to don't fucking touch the other guys when they're on their sleep, because it's really easy to break them out of sleep. A lot of incidental damage negates the value of stay a while. So in my opinion, you can set up a lot of plays. Like you can do WE, and while that's going off, throw out a tornado in their path they're trying to run away and knock them into the E. Things like that.
Okay, I see.
If they're near a wall, you can kind of like throw it along the path of the wall, so it kind of body blocks them and pins them into the wall, and they can't use abilities because they're constantly getting knocked into the wall, kind of like Chen's barrel, right? So things like that are possible.
The only thing I really heard that you said was that you have your opponents hit the whole team. I think that for sure is going to happen. Like everything else.
Yeah.
Of everything else, that's the one thing that makes me think maybe stay a while and listen isn't as good.
I mean, also, Lornado is also pretty telegraphed. You put it down, and then you knock
there's a
whoever
delay,
you want to die, towards your team, kind of like Chen Barrel. And you can use it on gates. There's a lot of narrow choke points and maps that you can use to push away team or isolate people. It's amazing.
So, all right. I had a question, but I forgot. Oh, I just remembered. So, is it kind of like do you think that Deckard Cain may have a low win rate, but then once he's played in HEC and people see how to play, you can remember like how Blaze was, right? He had a low win rate, and then like I remember Goon was saying that like he's just really good, that just people just don't play him properly. Do you think that's gonna be the same thing with Deckard Cain, where like once Smexy gets a hold of him and plays him in HGC, or if Kirsten gets to play him, then like people will be like, "Holy shit, he's really good."
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
maybe.
But he does need protection, though. He does need protection.
He requires protection. You're probably not going to want to choose him if the enemy team has a dive comp. There's just a lot of factors around him that I don't see him being like a really good pick all the time like Blaze would be.
Yeah, he also has the Morales factor in that he has to be with someone at all times. He is useless by himself. It's not like Rhaegar can get a camp.
Yeah, but like if you're Rhaegar, you probably don't want to be doing camps anymore anyway. If you're Rhaegar, for the most part, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that like, his utility outside of like controlling space and healing is really poor. He does no damage.
Yeah, you can't go soak away, because if you're doing that, you're probably better giving up that experience and being with your team.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, what I happen to notice is that a lot of people get rooted in that E ability from Deckard Cain. I thought like no one would ever get rooted in it, but it actually happens quite a lot.
Also, as Basin said, right, the triangle is drawn so that it points away from him, right? And I didn't know that till now. I said, "Oh, that's all." Now I know where to avoid.
Sometimes, even though I know the direction, like when it's drawing, I think is it gonna draw inwards or outwards, and I get confused, and then by the time I figure it out, it's too late and I'm rooting.
Yeah. Just run to the line so that you could hop on either side really quickly.
Yeah.
His biggest issue by far is hitting potions in hectic team fights. If the team fight spreads out at all, then it gets really hard for him to throw a potion here, throw a potion there. And it's not like you're clicking on somebody to get the heal of 100% if you're in range. Even if you're in range and you throw the potion down, they might not be able to pick it up, or you missed. And that's the most field bad part about his kit. But if you go level 16, the one that gives his trait, an extra cooldown reduction, and you have more armor, and level 13, the one that gives your attack more damage and healing, and combine that with Infinite Flask at level 20, you're popping potions left and right, and they're also refilling every 5 seconds. So if the team fight moves, then you can kind of adjust on the fly because you're throwing down a potion every 1.5 seconds. And for those people that you might not be in range with, or you're having a tough time, you can press D. That way the auto attacks that they get heal themselves. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But,
well, anything?
I'm getting like 130,000 like level 20 healing games.
Jesus.
Yeah. My damage
So-
is 4,000, but I get like 130, 440,000.
Yeah, that's the problem
Bacon.
with the.
Yeah.
Bacon, are you going to be playing support on your team in Bush League?
Hell no.
Sure. I'll
No.
Hell no.
Unless he wants to lose, he's not going to play support.
I'm playing support. I'm playing support.
He's going to be
Yeah.
the carry or the
Kane.
tank.
You're going to usurp Leviathan, huh?
We're playing triple support.
Mm. That's the Tower Baron team.
Plus
They
one.
can't focus. Yeah.
I mean, it's double
Hey, I
support's
can't-
good. And triple support. So much healing.
Got to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that if Goon had a team, he'd probably run that because he'd probably just go Kharazim and just do tons of damage with Kharazim. But I guess we'll never know.
Much damage anymore.
I don't know. You can. I mean, they buffed. They buffed Transcendence, and that actually has the highest win rate in hot slogs anyway.
And the
Even though
pro play
everyone goes-
too.
Yeah, even though like the most people go the damage at level 1, but Transcendence has the higher win rate. So I think people are maybe slow to adopt that as well.
Oh. Level 1. Don't go the quest talent. It's bullshit. Go
Yeah,
Sapphire
that-
Obviously.
or Field Study. If you have tanks that you can coordinate with, like Variant Taunt, then go Field Study. You get guaranteed value out of the. It's like 15% spell power per up to 30% for 14 seconds. So if you get a WE combo and hit 2 heroes for the entire duration of the team fight, you have 30% spell power, and that also affects healing. So it's badass.
All right. Well, any other thoughts on Deckard Cain? All right.
It seems like what Bacon is saying is like, why even go a lot of his utilities options when he can just heal a shit ton anyway?
No, he applies a lot of utility and healing.
But you're saying like his healing is the OP part. Like you should focus on that.
Both.
All right.
Yes.
130 is a lot.
Yeah. Also, grab those potions. That was hard to do.
Yeah.
Only if it's meant for you.
Yeah, it's meant for me or not. I don't know.
One of the
Lost 1
biggest
HP,
things,
it's my
especially,
potion.
one of the biggest things is like, yeah, you throw it down in the lane to set up, and they take 1 minion hit. It's like, oh, I'll get a potion. Like, you bitch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
told you that shit's gonna happen all the time. It's gonna happen all the time. I lost
It-
one.
it-
I got 1 auto attack. I need to refill like get 100 or whatever. Full life.
And then all of a sudden, like, you're trying to heal your tank, and then they get fucking got the like rich level of micro around the potions, right?
Mhm.
Not
Yeah, they dodge
hitting
every
the
single
potion, but
one.
around it. Yeah. Tilting me.
All right. So Warhead Junction got changed. So now it changed the boss. So now there's gonna be no more podlings when capturing.
So when
Instant-
those things
Banelings.
kind of burst off,
Mhm.
like the little banelings, yeah, they would follow you around before they burst. Now they're just gonna explode on impact.
Okay.
Sort of like a BOE angel or whatever. So
Mhm.
you see where it's gonna be and you just gotta avoid it.
So there's also no slime trail when you capture the boss. So there you go. So I guess that makes it easier to get the boss or to micro the boss, so you don't take damage from the boss while you take it.
I'm sure Fringe is happy about this change.
Well, I mean, the boss is just
Oh,
yeah,
that's
that,
like that.
yeah, that boss was killing you. But no, it's just that now the boss is more like other bosses.
Yeah, and it was
It's
always
easier.
kind of hard to, I guess, get around those little banelings as they chase you. That was always kind of annoying.
Yeah,
thought-
but they weren't hard to avoid if you ask me. Like I just walk closer to the boss and do the
If you don't get invaded, yeah.
Yeah.
If you get invaded, then then you're screwed. At least I'm screwed because I can't look at that and dodge banelings.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about Diablo. So Diablo is very much in the meta right now, and he actually has the highest win rates among tanks in Hoslogs. So the funny thing is that Blizzard hasn't changed him pretty much for a year, and now he's all of a sudden the top tank in the meta. So what happened? Why is Diablo so viable now?
we're back in the stun meta.
Oh,
That's it. And
tank
Diablo
crowd
has
control meta.
yeah, like Diablo has RQE guarantees a 3-second stun on one target. You can blow up. Like that's really important right now. There's also
He
better
scales
follow-up
really
CC.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a lot of damage late game when you stack up that level 13 quest
Mhm.
and get the 16 talent where you flip and you get another charge. He can chunk tanks really
I
well.
know.
So
Like down
Like
to
he
half or
can
something?
kill.
Yeah.
You can actually kill like an ETC at post 16, right?
Easily.
Yeah.
He also kills an Uber easily too, as you saw in Bush League. Like he deleted it in an Uber hack.
What was that? Tower
2
Brand
weeks
Square
ago.
who did that?
On
Yeah,
Infernal
it-
Shrines.
I mean, yeah, it was the Bush check.
You mean the game that I won?
Game that Zuni won, yes.
The game that I won? Okay, good. Just want to make sure that the listener knows that my team won that game that you're referring to. Yes.
Okay.
Moving on.
Yeah, where Zuni got every pick off, and with Diablo, he killed Lucios, killed the noobs. Yeah, those things.
Actually, that was the one game where Team Dignitas was close to losing. So I don't think
Yeah.
it was that strong of a performance.
I agree.
Er- All the
personally.
haters are gonna hate. That's basically how it works.
Oh.
I feel like a top 1%er where everyone's just mad at me for no reason. But all right. But anyway, so
You're
all
like
right, so
wiping your tears with dollar bills and shit.
Let
Let me wipe my ass with this gold flake toilet paper while I complain to my $300 an hour therapist.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Everyone has the same opportunity. It's not like I paid data to get data. Everyone has the same opportunity to do well. So, all right. But so, like obviously there's like basically only one build for Diablo, right? So you should never stray away from that build for Diablo for the most part.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Well, in level 1, you can change it to level 1. You don't have to go.
No,
Whatchamacallit?
you gotta-
I don't think so.
do.
After the globe changes, I don't think so. Is it?
Well,
Is
let's
that
say-
why he came in the meta because of the globe changes? Because he gets a shit ton of globes now.
no, it's because double support disappeared and he sets up kills, and now the people that he sets up kills on actually die.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's another reason. So two reasons.
But also, if you're on BOE, you just go to Globe. You have to be on a Globe map in order to pick them Devil's Due.
So
yeah. So and the combination of the globes, Diablo obviously with the talents and double support, that's also probably the biggest reason. And the recent heroes that are also strong also benefit from dive a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, and also I don't like according to the MMA, they said that they're not really going to change Diablo very much. That they're happy with his, with his talents available, even though which is kind of ironic because there's only one build that you take. But I don't think there's anything going to dramatically change with him. He may get some nerfs in a couple of weeks, but yeah, I think if you're wanting to get better and rank up in Hero League, then learn Diablo, learn that combo. So
Oh, yeah, the Goon combo of RQE.
yeah, actually, if you go to the week 3 analysis on his YouTube, he actually shows you what the combo is. So if
He
you don't know what
watches
it
a
is,
few times first, though. He watched it. He has a hard time getting it off.
Well,
Well, he's
EBS
a-
Graphic did it like 5 times in that Sky Temple game we played like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So like he's got that down.
After the
He's-
1000th game.
Yeah, got 1,000 games on Diablo.
yeah, I think he has like 1,000 on Diablo and like 200 on everyone else, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. Anything else on Diablo or anyone else you guys want to talk about?
Well,
Any
I do
character?
want to say that he's prevalent in both HGC and the Gank Bush and the Bush League meta. Like he is the tank for Bush League. Like that, the team with Diablo wins like 80% of the time.
I wouldn't say 80, right? I mean, he's
Yeah,
good,
that
but-
seems too high.
There
Look
was
at it.
one loss
What?
2
Look
weeks
at
ago.
it. Diablo doesn't lose on
I
these
think it's like
games.
On
3
a-
out of 4 games though. That doesn't really say very
on a
much.
sample size of 3.
Hey.
Yeah, that's a 75% win percentage.
Yeah, it's all the stats we got. What do you want?
Yeah.
He doesn't lose though.
What do you guys? Sorry, I was doing something else, but maybe you guys talked about it already. What do you guys like? He obviously has the one build, like Matt was saying. but he feels great to play.
Mhm.
And Blizzard said he's in a good spot. Is there anything wrong with that? He's got one build, more or less, definitely.
You know,
No,
I think
if he
what
feels
they're
great.
probably saying is that they have more stuff to work on, and Diablo's like low on the list, so they're just gonna say that he's fine, even though they probably know that he's not fine because there is only one build. Because like that's how Sonya was a year ago, right, or whatever it was. She had her one build and that was it, and then they redid her talents, and then or they changed some stuff. They changed the tuning of her numbers, and then she became more diversified. But I think they're working on other more stuff that needs more, like Rainer, Lenara, other like even like the supports. I think they're probably focusing on that. If you ask me.
I will say though about Diablo at level 7, you want Diabolic Momentum, not Spell Shield. It's a much better ability. It's more CC, it's more stuns. It feels better.
Yep.
I don't know. I think Spell Armor's pretty good.
It's good versus like double mage comps, but all the CC you get with the Diabolic Momentum, you feel like you're way more impactful in team fights. It's not just one setup. You have multiple chances to get wall stuns.
I mean, you can we can definitely argue that talent
both
is
have
is the only variation that really.
Yeah, that's the one that
happens.
would be slightly acceptable to go, but I'd still
Mm-hmm.
say Diabolic Momentum, 80-90% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Tower Baron wanted to discuss lane soaking in Silver League.
Yeah, so I've been playing Bush League the past 3-4 weeks and trying to take over some of the stuff I learned from Bush League into my Hero League games. And there's been a side effect of that. I'm getting a lot of shit from the other silver and gold players I'm playing with because I'm
Talking
trying
about
to
Blood Scythe?
No, this is like my Hero League games. No one in the Bush League.
Okay.
So I'm playing my Hero League games now, trying to incorporate Bush League type info I've gathered. Getting kind of shit for it because I'm soaking more lanes now early on. And then a lot of the team is getting into these dumb fights. And the way it works is that if you're in Hero League in Silver, someone gets into a fight and they lose, they immediately they immediately look on the mini map like, okay, who wasn't there? So it's been kind of hard for me. I've actually turned off the chat for Hero League now. I think if I have it on, I'll be incentivized to kind of go into these battles and take what they're saying to heart. So to all the other Silver League players out there, soaking lanes is super important. One soak from one wave is worth more than the fort tower on the sides, right? So I would play a game and we'd be soaking a lane and other people are fighting over to get one tower down on the fort. And I'm just like, you guys don't know what you're doing. But they get into a fight and they lose and they just immediately get flamed. You get saying, oh, we gotta report this guy, he's not with our team. It's it also kind of brings up the concept of, do you want to win the Silver League game or do you want to get better? Because if I wanted to win the game, I think I'd stay with the team, try and get a pick and then play around that. But I think I'm just gonna stay my course and continue to soak lanes. I think solo laning is, I think, the most powerful position you can play in Silver League, as Zunicorn showed us all. And I think also, going back to Yeli's question about the Dragonshire and how he has a low win rate, be a really good solo laner. And if you can, soak multiple lanes if possible.
Well, the thing is that if you do that strategy of soaking multiple lanes, right, then you will rank up theoretically faster. But Bacon has always said that Hero League is for mechanic improvement, right? So if you're in those team fights, your mechanics will get better because you'll be fighting with players.
I disagree with that. If you want mechanics improvement, play Brawl. Play ARAM Brawl.
That's part of mechanics. Like
soaking lanes and not doing useless fights.
And fighting over nothing is the biggest thing I've kind of learned stepping back from playing the Bush League games to the Silver Hero League games, is that there's always unsoaked lanes at any given point. No one really leaves that mid-fight until there's been one wave on each of the lanes, the other lanes. It's something I've noticed a lot more in the games, is that there's so much experience left unsoaked. And I'm also watching Goonhotz's replays, and he's kind of microing like, oh, you've lost 3 minions you didn't soak and stuff like that. to kind of put a different perspective on the Hero League game. So if you're in
Yeah.
Silver, you should really watch out, prioritize the minimap, and see where the lanes are being unsoaked. Because almost every single of my Hero League games, there's lanes going unsoaked at any given time. So
Mhm.
Well, I remember like Bacon made a joke of like in Masters, if there's a lane if you miss soak in one lane, people are like in chat like, "What the fuck? Why'd you
Yeah,
miss soak?"
it's lame.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
that,
people literally ping it. Yeah, go soak.
it's the
we're missing bot.
opposite. It's the opposite.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the exact.
I get
opposite.
frustrated when I see that. I'm like, what? Go top. What the fuck are you doing here? Like that's what I say to myself when I see that stuff.
So it's there in Masters and Diamond as well, huh? That's sad to hear. So
I think it's like 1 out of every like 10 games, if that, or that's a prevalent issue.
Yeah. Also remember that like your team, your ally that's soaking, he's on the mini map. You see where he is. If you know he's there, don't fight. Like it's hard to blame him when you see where he is. It's your fault for engaging.
one of the show
You,
listeners.
you,
and-
you have to play around them, yes, but you have to play with them too sometimes.
Yeah, just communicate. You're not going to be there.
Yeah.
yeah. Don't.
But you also can't say poke this tribute out because I'm gonna get soaked, because no one's gonna poke out shit. It's just gonna be 5v4.
That's true. That's
You
true.
ain't gonna, They ain't gonna poke shit. They're just gonna. Leeming's gonna throw in one ability. Oh, I got this guy to 80% health. I'm gonna fucking calamity in and see if I can get something done. Like
All in.
Fucking.
It's like I don't see the rest of their team in that bush over there. It's just the one guy. I could take him. I could take him. Yeah. So
But,
you may lose, I think, initially by side soaking and the other team just running in, but I think you'll build better habits doing that instead of winning some meaningless game.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
important is
if-
the Bush League game.
If you're properly soaking the lanes that they are not, your teammates are not. I mean, on the flip side, the enemy team also are going to be missing spots in soak too. And if you're double soaking, that means you can. I mean, they're also like missing soak themselves, and you can start pushing towers and get experience that way. I mean, it's just a snowball effect that if you can actually get that going. But the biggest thing is obviously not getting caught out and kind of saying to yourself, it's 13 versus 20. I can keep soaking to try to get to 16, or we have a talent advantage. Might as well just join them. Fuck it. I mean, there's decisions like that you have to make too.
No. Yeah, if you're down on levels, and your post 10 ganks will be better, I think, because you'll have the comeback experience thing, right? Where you get more experience if you're down. So in that case, I'm talking mostly pre-10 and people aren't soaking lanes. They're fighting over nothing or like trying to get a fort tower or something, which does not pay off with respect to the alternative of soaking lanes. So that's like the biggest thing I've noticed since playing Bush League and then taking that over to the Hero League Silver games.
I don't know. I've been saying for a while that if you're in silver or gold, maybe even platinum, and you want to get better of actually getting better at the game, Bush League is a better environment than Hero League is.
It is a better
It's-
environment.
It's like night and day, because every team has at least one really good, player on your team that will tell you what you're doing wrong. Hopefully, like during replay analyses or something like that, and you'll learn far more in 2 weeks of Bush League than you ever will in probably in 50 games
Well,
of Hero League. To be
the
honest,
thing also too is that when you play your Hero League games or any games, the map and everything is randomized to different teams. So if you make a mistake last game with a certain comp or a certain character, you can't really reproduce those situations to practice it. You have to kind of take every game as its own game. Where in Bush League, I have to play every freaking map on Dragonshire. I freaking hate that map now, but I kind of know how that.
prove to me that you guys can rotate, and then we'll stop doing it.
Maybe one.
But
last-
anyway, I thank you to Santa and Grizzly for the bits. We all appreciate that very much. But once you prove to me that you guys can actually handle a 3-lane map, then we'll stop doing it. But I see no end in sight, despite your win.
I also
So-
caution, it's a very safe play to do that, split soaking on your own and trying to get pushed out that way. Yes, I would also argue, once you start getting keeps down, that's right around the time when you're gonna have to start balancing actually joining in the team fight to close out the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because
I mean, like,
you can
like,
split soak all you want, but eventually you're gonna have to win a team fight and try to
Mhm.
get some shit done.
And soaking doesn't mean you have to be in the lane the whole time. All you got to be in the lane for is when the minions die. When the minions die, you could either, choose to push, or you could go rotate to help your team, maybe set up a gank or something. You don't want to just be standing there waiting for minions to spawn. Always be looking to do something, or even you could get a camp. Just be productive all the time you are playing.
It's
Yeah,
every
and,
30
you know-
seconds minions meet, and if you can clear the wave in 5 seconds, you have 25 seconds to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, that's why like when my heyday when I was playing Hero League like a year and a half ago, I got all the way up to my promotion game to gold just playing Gazlo, and all I did was just push lanes, right? But did I get any better? Probably not. So that's the
Well,
thing.
you learn
So
the importance of experience soak and pushing.
yeah,
over
pretty much.
fighting.
But I didn't get better though. You know what I mean? Like I just got really good at looking at the mini map and not getting ganked.
You gotta
But the
play
thing-
some ARAM Brawl. That's what you gotta do, Fringe. Just
Yeah, I
play
know.
ARAM Brawl for like 4 hours, or you just fight the whole time over the center.
Yeah, I know. No, but I'm just saying is that like just because you get rank up doesn't mean you're getting better. Is what I'm saying. And also, fun fact is that enemy of the show, Hero Physio, he got placed into silver.
Seriously?
So, yeah, he got
No,
got
he
his
didn't.
he got no look on his Twitter. He did. He got his HEC account with all these all the skins and everything, right? And he leveled that up. He did his 10 games and placements, and he got ranked into silver. He went 6-4 in his
The
placements.
fuck?
No
Yeah.
shame in that. No shame in silver.
So Hero Physio is a silver type player.
Hmm.
So who's
so
he gonna
weird.
sub for? Who's gonna sub?
Yeah, exactly. He's up the tower.
Yeah.
For?
Yeah, if I play a Bush League, can I be gold?
That is.
Yeah, you're gold.
uh,
You're gold.
That is an anomaly.
Yeah. The problem with the old backpack playing is that he's so far away that he probably like lag out or some shit like that. So, but yeah. Anyway, so Hero Physio feels your pain if you're in Silver League because he went 6-4, and he's clearly not a silver player, but they placed him there. So
Yeah, that's the anomaly.
wait. Blemish says I prefer Scott in the role of shifting on Fringe or shitting on.
Shifting. What?
Oh, yeah.
Enough with the actual commentary. Work at midnight.
I'm being too nice
I
today.
mean, are we
Yeah,
gonna?
it's just
Do we
being
need some?
informative.
Do we need some memes to loosen this up? God.
We
damn.
do. Like, loosen it up.
I'm
What we
gay.
got?
Oh God.
I also
All right.
have
Let's do it.
Scott's laugh.
Nice.
Dude, it's like the Predator laugh.
Anytime we need Scott's laugh, we got it.
Nice.
Nice. That's not annoying at all.
That's not annoying.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's Scott laughing or not. No.
I swear it's the Predator thing, man.
Ugh.
I also have this. I don't know. I might.
What
is
is
that?
that?
It's just a man screaming. All right.
All right.
No,
All
what
right.
is that? There was a name for that scream, the Wilhelm scream, right?
It
You've
will,
heard that.
yeah.
Yeah,
like in
it's,
every-
it's the next famous one.
Okay, so let's move on to the draft analysis where we review the drafts of both Bush League games. So I guess we'll go to Dragonshire first. So for those of you listening at home, the blue team went Maiev, Johanna, Lili, Illidan, and Tassadar. So again, Maiev, Johanna, Lili, Illidan, and Tassadar. And the red team went Phoenix, Dahaka, Chromie, Rhaegar. Phoenix, Dahaka, Chromie, and Rhaegar. So who's the fifth? It's pretty obvious that it's probably going to be Arthas.
Well, I just like to say the other team has a way better composition and draft.
You win
Finally
one game.
crafted.
You win one game, and now
It's
you
gonna be
just
very
can't-
hard for the red team, the team that has to pick, to come back from this draft. I don't know what they can do. It looks
Yeah, it's a pretty
looks
rough.
really bad.
It's a pretty rough draft.
Pretty
Mhm.
rough draft. The other team must have done really in-depth analysis to come up with that draft.
That's the Predator
All
left.
right.
It looks very similar to a draft that happened 4 weeks ago when the team behind these drafts were playing. But they're
Right.
both
So
picked.
okay. So Arthas is probably a good pick, right? Is what else stops Illidan? Like Varian?
Varian, ETC would be good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah,
ETC not bad. Don't have.
a Nubarek.
Yeah, you could cocoon.
Yeah. You could wait until like Tassadar went Archon this game, right? Wait until Tassadar goes Archon and then throw Cocoon on him. On Illidan, I mean.
But was Terrabrand, do you remember if Stukov was banned?
Stukov and Lucio were both banned.
When?
Lucio was banned in the beginning, and then Stukov was banned mid.
Why not? I mean, Stukov is a hard counter to Maiev, right? Why not just go Stukov then, if you're the red team?
You could go Stukov, and his sustained support would work. We were thinking of taking away counters to Illidan, because Illidan gets a lot of his sustain from his auto attack damage. So we took a lot of the blinds with Johanna and Lily. So that was part of the draft for the red team. Or for the blue team, excuse me. Just looking at the blue team's comp, right? They're gonna have to have someone solo top, right? And they don't have any solo lane. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be Illidan. So do you have? Well, Tassadar is gonna be with Illidan, right? That's kind of a given.
No, not necessarily.
Could be.
Really? I would always
No.
think Tassadar sticks with Illidan. At
Uh,
least
I'd stick Tassadar and have him soak mid and bot to get his trade up initially
Yeah.
for the first couple levels. That's probably more beneficial to him
But
and the team.
what counters Illidan in the solo lane? Like Blaze, maybe?
Sonya just rocks Illidan lane.
Phoenix would actually probably do somewhat
Yeah.
well against him.
He is too.
Phoenix do all right.
Yeah. But was Phoenix in the top lane, or was it Dahaka?
It was Dahaka, and they moved up Chromie. They kind of switched, I think, in the middle when things weren't working out.
Well, to be fair, Dahaka was chosen before Illidan was picked. So, not to be too critical, but
No, Dahaka's a good pick for Dragonshire. He's one of the best characters for this map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think what it was is that they left their tank to the very end. If they kind of had more room to play with the assassins, I think they could have countered the last two. The last two picks for the blue team were Tassadar and Illidan. So I think they could have had more counterplay with an assassin left, because they had to pick a main tank. The last pick.
Yeah.
With Johanna would be the best pick, I think, for those particular assassins they have with Chromie and Phoenix. But it was already picked on the red team.
Yeah. But I think if you're last picking here, you just have to go Arthas or Anubarak. Maybe ETC, but I would just go Arthas and just yellow it. You know?
Yeah, go Arthur, stick him in the solo lane, and then have Dahaka burrow in for some sneak attacks.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So I think they didn't get any value, the red team did, from Dahaka at all. Right? I don't remember him getting any.
In that game, Dahaka, he stopped playing the solo after a while. He started joining the team a lot. He wasn't actually split soaking as much as he should have been.
Yeah. The thing is that if you're going to play Dahaka at a high level, you have to be it's a very nuanced role. It's actually people think that it's very easy, but you have to know to solo lane. You have to know when to soak a mid lane when your other team's team fighting, or know when to burrow in and stuff like that. So it's a very hard role to play. I think if you're not really experienced as a team with him, then you're probably better off not using him, to be honest. Or you need to have a really good shot caller telling the Dahaka player where to go and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's got to be pretty good communication with all the characters that have globals, right? It could have been Falstad, it could have been Brightwing. I mean, I was in that position last week as the top
What
solo.
if you do go Falstad in this comp, and then you just put Phoenix in the top lane, and you just like collapse with the Dahaka and Falstad onto Illidan and punish that?
Unless you're perfectly getting him every time, it's you're wasting resources.
What if you just send Dahaka there then, or Falstad there?
Falstad loses, doesn't he?
No, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
if Phoenix is top lane, you just send Falstad to keep the Illidan honest. Then you have an opportunity to actually mitigate the top lane advantage against the, Phoenix, I guess.
You don't have a tank though. Your team fight's gonna be pretty bad.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
that's
Haka.
That's what I'm saying. They left the tank
What you
to
could
the
do
very
is,
end.
if when Johanna W's and uses her unstoppable trade, then you just like gust out the team and focus Johanna down. There's shit like that you can do, but that's like an extra step of coordination on top of a difficult comp to pull off already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
Just
kind of
trap
like a
Arthas.
last minute YOLO, like you're betting on everything with that gust kind of play style.
So actually, the bigger question I have is, in general, is that if you're in a Bush League format, is it better to leave your last pick to be like an assassin, more times than not?
Should be a flex at the end spot. You should have
A flex.
tank healer and a
You should
tank healer and DPS.
Well,
Those three should be done in the first half of the draft.
Generally,
Suppose-
the best player is on the flex role on most of the teams, I think, right? So kind of does
Mhm.
make sense.
But like,
Yeah.
I guess, let's just suppose that instead of drafting Chromie, they drafted Arthas, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they had the last pick. Would that have been a better draft overall? Because then they can just go like Cassia to fuck the Illidan. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cassie would have been wonderful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
You can't
maybe
pick
it's
Cassia
better.
here.
So I don't know. I mean, it's an open-ended question because obviously, they didn't know that a Illidan was going to be chosen. But I think if they went, ETC over the Chromie, that gives them way more flexibility, and it actually allows Cassia to do tons of damage because ETC will provide tons of crowd control to keep her safe, right? So I feel as though that maybe drafting your assassin or your flex assassin last is probably more important than drafting your main tank last.
Yeah.
But
They got choked, I think, at the end, having to pick a tank with Johanna already picked.
Well, no, the clear pick is Arthas, right? Or Anubarak.
yeah, Arthas is still the way to go.
Yeah, but I'm just
Or
saying, like,
Anubarak.
Mm,
Okay.
I don't know about Arthas. His route's really hard to land on the Illidan. Even the Maiev can dodge it with her D. I mean, the attack speed slow is nice, but Illidan's jumping, bouncing around from player to player. You could get out of the attack speed so easily.
well, that's why, like, I don't understand why Stukov wasn't prioritized, right? Because it looks as though that the the blue team had first pick, right? So if they first pick Maiev, you should just insta lock Stukov, right?
Stukov counters Maiev really well.
Exactly,
Wherever
that's
she's
why-
trying to crowd control, you just throw down a silence.
Yeah, exactly. That's what, like, I don't understand why they didn't. Because, like, when I see Maiev, I'm like, well, fine. If you want Maiev, then we get Stukov, and then you get fucked. So, but anyway. So anyway, the red team just didn't draft very well, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
Actually, on the ban, we were discussing whether to ban Stukov or Lucio because we were kind of afraid of the comeback mechanic of Lucio's break it down ultimate and saving people, and the movement speed between lanes. So that's why we picked Lucio first.
Well,
Yeah, that's
also,
fine.
that's his team prioritizes Lucio a lot.
Yeah, and that
Yep.
I knew a little bit that he played Lucio against us. First time we played on this map, so I knew that was there.
Yep. That's the higher priority.
all right. So the pick was Garrosh, and it was kind of a stomp, to be honest. So
And Grosh's not bad. He just needs a lot of coordination to follow up on the taunt. Like, it's not bad. It could have worked.
You gotta be super good at your Q, basically. You gotta be really
It-
good at hitting it and throwing people out to peel, throwing your allies away to peel as well.
mhm.
It's really
Yeah.
difficult now.
Yeah, I think that you need to have breeze on Garrosh to get this to work. To be honest,
Yeah, you need your
Like-
best player playing Garrosh.
like this can't even be the best player. This has to be like fucking Ishbu or some shit on that. You know what I mean? Like this isn't gonna work. Like against a Maiev and a fucking Illidan. I'm sorry,
Someone
it's
that
not gonna
can
work.
surgically rotate and get ganks off and then force
Yeah.
like 5v3 situations and shit.
Yeah, you need a So no, so all right, let's move on from this draft. So the next one is Braxis Holdout, and the blue team went Medivh, Stukov, Diablo, Sonya, and Diva. Again, Medivh, Stukov, Diablo, Sonya, and Diva, and triple tank on Braxis Holdout all maps.
That's rough. No poke.
And to Gul'dan too.
The red team went Malfurion, ETC, Junkrat, Gul'dan. So again, Malfurion, ETC, Junkrat, and Gul'dan.
Mhm.
So if you're the red team, what's your last pick?
That's easy, right? They have triple tank. You need a solo laner. It's Leoric, right?
York does all right.
He fits the role perfectly. Also,
Or
he lanes pretty
Malthael.
well versus Sonya. Or Malthael too, yes, you're right.
Yeah, Malthael works too.
I was kind of thinking Phoenix, but no, there's too much crowd control for him to get his teleport off.
Mhm. Obviously, the blue team is trying to do a wombo combo, right? Where you do the ley line into like either a
APOC.
Diva Bomb or
APOC.
a APOC, right?
Yeah.
But
Meme dream build.
Yeah,
So,
I
but-
think the blue team's comp is terrible. There's
No
too
damage.
much melee. All you have
Yeah.
for
Damage.
range damage is Medivh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Gul'dan's quest is going to be done in like 5 minutes.
You know,
All those-
who's your burst damage to actually kill a target and stop them from running, so where they just can't walk away when they're
It
injured?
has to be a Diva Bomb. You have to go for a ley line and a bomb. That's the combo, right?
That seems pretty like situational, especially considering
Yeah.
Diva Bomb's like an ultimate, and you're not going to have it consistently.
I know. Yeah, that's the problem with the comp.
It's kind of like you throw the R's and hope for the best, and unless you get like a 5-man mosh pit kind of play on a, Medivh ley line Diva Bomb, like, that's just, I don't know, so risky. So unnecessarily risky. That's what I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Ghost Bear says, it's a lot of coordination required. A lot.
Like the takeaway, if you're listening at home, I'll just tell you, is that the teams that lost in week 4 ran these really high coordinated
Execution.
coordinated execution team comps, and unless you practiced it, it doesn't work, and then if it doesn't work, then you're kind of fucked, right? So just
the burden
FYI.
of the burden of execution is so high. Like last week too, my entire Baron team and I went over the draft. They picked a very hard comp to pull off, and it ended up biting them in the ass because the level of coordination wasn't there. And there's a reason why meta heroes are sometimes meta, because it's pretty easy to actually get the most benefit out of them. And yeah. Like there's also a reason why even in Masters, Lily is one of the top supports, because her numbers are good generally, and she has a safe playstyle, and there you go. I mean,
and she has cleanse.
And she has cleanse, yeah.
Yeah.
So a safe but good to execute
Yeah.
playstyle.
Well,
And that cleanse gives you healing too.
well,
And her jugs, no one ever fucking knocks her out of it. So
Yeah.
well, I kind of have the other opinion. I think if you're playing Bush League and you are on a coordinated team, we had subs for our game, but if you're on a coordinated team, you should be practicing that and pulling off these sick wombos. I think that would be way cooler. You may not be able to execute all the time, but they give you something to work for, and I think it'll be pretty awesome to pull it off.
but there's also a reason why those are meme dream comps, because
It can be done. It can be done.
think about how often HGC teams draft around getting these things done, right? And then every time it happens, which is kind of rare, even considering it's the pros, it's on the front page of Reddit, top upvote, and only happens once or twice a weekend. And there's 30, 40 matches of HGC teams throughout the weekend, and only a Wombo Combo Dream ever happens like once or twice a weekend. I mean, there's a reason why the meta heroes are easy to pull off and overtuned, because you get the most benefit bang for your buck. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the last pick was Leoric, and yeah, so the game wasn't really that close, to be honest. So the draft made no sense to me, like at all.
This is also the one game where the Diablo team lost, which made me very upset. Diablo always wins these Bush League games.
Yeah, no, the draft made no sense to me at the time, and yeah, so. But yep. All right, so that's it. So that's it for the draft. What else do we have here? So Bacon has a win time moment that he wants to share.
Oh yeah, win times. I
Is it
remember
Mike
this.
Right Wing?
It's been a while.
Been a while. Yeah.
I suggested
while.
one last
Stay and
week,
listen.
but it was voted down.
It was not a win time, sir.
I
The
put
moment-
one in the.
The moment happened like 8 minutes into a 35-minute game. It's not a fucking win time.
It was a win
no
time
winning during
for
that time.
me.
Scott, you're muted.
Scott's muted.
Yeah.
Or is
Yeah.
he practicing?
I was
Actually, let's just
let's
for
say,
laugh.
not to mention you got picked off and you just managed to survive.
Yeah.
There's no win time in A. I escaped getting ganked.
I
All
think
right,
the fans
so-
would like to see that, but
So this game, right? So it's Garden of Terran. I'm on the red team, and it's level 20 versus level 21. It's pretty much a late game. Our bottom keep is dead, right? And the blue team has an enemy terror, and we're kind of postured in front of the enemy team's bottom keep because we had a terror. We walked up, started fighting the keep, our terror died, and then they got their terrors and walked towards us. So they kind of forced and engaged on us, but and Johanna gets caught, we counter engage, and we kill Phoenix.
Root.
Yeah, the root. Did you see that?
Root was
sick
awesome.
root?
Yeah,
That was-
that
that-
four-man
that was my
Death
root.
Cane root.
That was my root.
Boom. That's a 5-man root. Shit.
Shin does a good job, or
Ooh.
Sun?
yeah.
Who is that? Shin or
Right
Sun?
before Shin, yeah,
Yeah, Shin does a
the sub.
good job of killing Phoenix. And then if you notice at the bot lane, the blue team's Garden Terror is like, fuck this, I'm gonna try to race the core. And as soon as
Base
I saw
race.
that, yeah, base race. As soon as I saw that, I told the team, we're gonna kill keep and go core. And I said, don't fuck with anything else. And this is I have infinite flask, and we get a lot of value out of the heal. And yeah, it's crazy.
Here it is.
Yeah, here's the
Big-
race. So I
race.
have infinite flask here. So I'm trying to peel off
There's
the
the
core, trying
tornado.
to get people.
Yeah.
And then this right here, I use my trade ability to get more damage onto the core. And I just keep telling them, right click, I'll heal you. So I'm throwing potions,
Oh,
right?
with the side by side.
Yeah, I'm just throwing out potions, and it's infinite flask, and look how low they get. But
We don't much value yet. Shit. Through the lightning breath.
Oh, those flasks.
But you take the whole lightning breath. Shit. You just stand in it.
I'm telling you, man, infinite
Just
flask is amazing.
Stand on top of a flask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lightning
I
breath
just-
doesn't hit that hard.
I just put
Where it's on
flasks
Deckard
right
Cain,
around
though.
the core, like right next to them, and then they just get it.
Oh,
It's
that
pretty
was
amazing.
that was almost as good as my play, but yeah.
Almost as good.
And then I just kept telling them, right click the core, just keep right clicking it, don't fight at all. And
You
then
guys got so close
7%.
to losing.
Yeah.
that's why I kept like telling them, don't fight, right click the core, I'll keep you alive. And I'm glad they listened. But yeah,
It's
it
like
was,
two missed auto attacks you could have lost. You know that?
I know.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I told them.
Yeah.
Like, it was so close.
All right. So lastly, am I muted? No, I'm not. All right, good. All right. So lastly, we got a iTunes review. So actually, we did get a question in Discord from Leviathan, but we'll do that next week because we're running a little bit. Well, do you guys want to do his question?
Sure.
Leviathan's.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his
All right.
question?
All right. So he said in Discord today, a friend of mine is following Bush League on Mondays and is very interested in playing HOTS, but he has no experience in a MOBA. I try to get him to play Quick Match or AI, but he tells me the game is too complex. What does Gankbush recommend as a good starting point into HOTS or MOBAs in general? Well, obviously you want to play League of Legends.
Yeah, then you
I
get
know.
salty and never touch a MOBA again.
Fringe is the
No.
most suited to answer this question since HOTS was his first MOBA.
Yeah, the first video game in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Um,
How'd you approach
I don't know.
it?
No, you just if your friends play it, then you'll play it too. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you just
I mean,
yeah, like-
you must have had your brothers like kind of spoon feed some information to you, right? 'Cause, I mean,
Nope.
Or
No information was
Yeah, we
given to me.
did.
Yeah.
We told
Wow.
you Rainer
What-
picked talents.
Well, what'd you choose for an ultimate? Oh, you picked 0 talents the whole game. There's a tab there where you could just
Yeah.
these talents and makes you stronger.
Yeah,
for
so
the few-
basically what it was is that they did say that, but that's pretty much it. Like I think also what they said was like they would tell me to do things, but then I would just do things to a fault. So like they said soak lanes, and then I would just be in the lane, never leave the lane,
Well
and just
done.
soak it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just for me is just if you have friends to play with, then it makes it easier to play because then you're actually learning while you play with your friends. Also, I ended up watching a ton of Palatine videos.
Mhm.
Like back then, he was
Yeah.
doing way more than he is now. But he would have like 3 or 4 videos per character, and I would just watch them like in the background as I was working or something.
yeah, we all watched him.
Yeah,
all of
so,
us early on.
yeah. So like he gave a really good, people are very critical of him sometimes, but he's a very solid player. He's not dumb by any stretch of the imagination, but he provides a really good template if you're learning a new character of what to do. So I just did that, and then I just found a couple of heroes I liked playing, and then just did that. So and then yeah, I don't know. Just, if you have friends to play with, then you'll
Yeah.
play.
That's the best. Like if you're Leviathan, if you're willing to, you gotta take him under your wing, play games together, like play quick match games or AI games together, teach him, show him the ropes. I had a friend like that when I first started. He was around gold level, and then we would play like Hero League together and just like grind games, and he would show me this or that. And the first thing I did, I remember I played 3 games of Sunya, 3 to 5 games, and then I said I really want to play this game. So I looked up guides online and YouTube videos, and then that was around when Muradin was the tier 1 tank. So I played like 40 games straight of Muradin. And once you get like 10, 15 games in, you have a pretty solid idea of what a hero can do. So since I only played 40 games straight of Muradin, I was able to not focus on my hero, but see how the enemy heroes kind of like interacted with mine. That way I could learn through proxy just by interacting with the enemy heroes. And podcasts and YouTube videos and having a friend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bacon. Was that friend? Was his name Bacon?
No.
Okay.
Was it
Sure.
AIDS?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was insinuating that you killed him and took over his avatar, and you're new Bacon.
That's really dark, man.
Dude,
Fuck. Yeah, what
Would
the
you
hell,
like
man?
to
That's
really,
not so
really,
dark.
you just think of that out of nowhere.
Wait, can you say? Wait. Do me a favor. Can you say that again? Exactly.
Scott's gonna
That's
laugh
really
at
dark.
me.
That's really dark, man.
Yeah. Boom.
I should have been on top of it. Never mind.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I mean, you have to you can actually help someone as much as you want, but it's up to that person to really commit to at least getting better or at least learning on his or her own time. But that's pretty much it. If you and your friends play, then you're more likely to play, I think. So
And then I had a friend who started playing maybe 6 months ago. He did have mobile experience. He played Dota 2, but he just jumped right into Jaina. He said that's the same as the Frost Maiden pretty much. And he just played Jaina for, I think first 20 games.
Maiden is modeled after Jaina.
Yeah, you said it's very similar, and it was very comfortable for him to pick. And I just like playing with him because all of his games were just easy stomp games. I could play Zeratul and just get 10 kills. It was great. So now he's a lot better and plays with us occasionally. So
Yeah. Step one, you got to play the game. There's almost 80 heroes now, somewhere around there. There are a ton of different interactions going on in the game. And, step one is getting that experience. You could prepare and look at guides all you want, but until you're actually in game and you played a little bit, it's really going to be hard to make sense of, anything else you're trying to do to prepare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it, right? We good?
Yep. We're good.
All right. So we got an iTunes review. I had to make the font really big so I can read it.
You want to read it, Fringe? You want someone to read it for you?
throw on
It's
some
a-
pictures.
It's a pretty long
pictures.
review. I don't know if I want to read the entire thing because it
Would
kind
you
of
like me
reads
to
like an
read it?
info. No.
Yeah. We
I can read it.
read. Okay.
Not a beer. I can definitely read it, but it's kind of long. But it's from the
Electron Lover.
Electron Lover.
Oh
I'm
my
getting the
God.
font size ready to go. I can
Yep.
be ready. To...
Fringe reading.
I'll
everyone.
read it.
No.
Brace yourself.
No. Hey.
Oh my
it's
God.
Fringe. Hey, it's cool. All right.
cool.
So here we go. All right.
Oh God.
Oh,
Wow.
just read it.
Yeah,
Just
Bacon.
read.
Bacon, you
Just a
should
bunch
grab
of
the stop
friends
laugh.
hanging out, talking about Heroes of the Storm. Each player represents a different play level: bronze, silver, master, etc. Except for Bacon. Oh shit! I talked to my mom, and she's putting together a prayer circle to help Bacon get back to masters. Well, he's back in masters, but just barely. But so then I can finally give his opinion the weight of Scott's. Ooh. They have really cool segments where they list off real drafts, except they leave out the final pick. That's true. Then the different hosts explain why they think their pick for the final one is the best one, and debate why for different ranks it could be different, i.e. coordination, face rolling, etc. The motley crew is led by Fringe Average, who does a great job of keeping the crew on task. They have also now set up a Bush League that has 4 teams that compete every week, and they talk about the games in the podcast, which is interesting because it includes hosts from the other shows as well as their viewers and listeners. I actually end up caring more about these games than some of the HGC games, as I've actually spent more time, quotation, listening alone in the dark, okay, to these hosts and other HOTS podcasters. Final note of concern: Fringe Average laugh is odd and contagious. Highly recommended.
That's not the Fringe laugh.
No,
Yeah,
he's
we have
not.
a Fringe laugh on the soundbite too.
No. We don't want that. But anyway, thank
Yeah, we
you,
do.
Electron Lover, for the infomercial and the review of the on iTunes. We all really appreciate it, and yeah, and thank you to everyone
Yeah.
who's been watching us for during the show, after the show. Also, for those of you who went and watched the live shows, download the audio only because there's a really good joke for the first minute or so that I'm going to put at the start of the show. So if you want to hear that joke, please go
What's
listen
the
to the
joke?
audio.
Is it at one of our expenses?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
listen,
probably his interview from the trolls that he supposedly didn't remember, where he was bashing you.
Yeah.
But for those of you who want to listen to that joke, it's going to be very funny. I think it's the best clip ever, actually. So go ahead and listen to the audio only of this for the people who came to the live show.
Wait, that's in the first couple minutes of the
First
Trolls
minute.
thing?
No, the first minute of this
opening.
show, of
Okay.
this show, episode 110, will be a nice little joke for everyone, and I greatly appreciate it. And again, it's the best, the best clip ever. So and lastly, I wanted to give a quick little, I guess a shout out, to Windtimer Mosley, who lost his dog the other day. So that's I'm sorry to hear that. when that happened. So, but because anyone who has a dog, I think a lot of wind timers have animals, and it's always not a good, it's never a good thing when your animal dies. So sorry to hear about that, but just remember, nothing lasts forever. Just enjoy the moment. One day this show will end. Next one day the Bush League will end, and things don't last forever. Like I remember my first job out of college was a really great work environment, and you never got that back. And you have to, and I probably never will get it back. But just enjoy things in the moment. Never just be cool with, just be cool with the now. Don't overthink it too much, and just enjoy everything for what it is. And that's pretty much it. All right, so let's boom. All right, so,
That's on point.
All right, so let's go to Tower Baron.
And that's our show, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
Yeah, everyone blow ASAP. Now go. Jesus, bro.
He missed it! Last one was so much better.
He missed it.
That's the outro. We're good.
The miss on the stage.